Hello, friends. Welcome back to Dr. Makhan Saikia's talk on foreign affairs. Today, we are going to discuss another very important issue that is global warming. You know, for the last more than 3 decades, we all have been witnessing massive changes in the weather. Environmental changes are dangerous for human survival now. Maybe 30 years back, people those who were born, they have never seen these kind of changes in the atmosphere. Right. So our environment is changing ever faster, which we have never experienced in the past. In this lecture, I am going to tell you very basic things about global warming so that we can have a clear picture what is global warming, what causes global warming, and what are the changes that we are facing, and what kind of steps that we can take to prevent this menace or chaos. Let's see what is global warming. The term global warming is used to define an increase in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere due to the effect of greenhouse gases, which causes climatic changes. These gases actually change the entire climate, right? Over the past 100 years, the average surface temperature of the Earth has increased by about 0.8 degrees Celsius, that is 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit, with about two-thirds of the increase occurring since 1980. Along with the atmosphere, the oceans are also warming up, and this phenomenon is projected to increase or rise in the days to come. Now, next question comes to our mind. What are the factors that are adding to global warming? Scientists across the world are of the opinion that global warming is primarily caused by increasing concentrations of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and ozone emitted by humans. We humans are responsible for this tragedy. Right. The Industrial Revolution over the last few centuries has enormously contributed to environmental pollution, which alters the balance between the greenhouse gases. So, as we are having more industries, we are having more pollution and we are having more changes to the environment. Right. Since 1990, yearly emission of carbon dioxide have gone up by about 20% across the planet. Very, very dangerous. Right. Greenhouse gases. What are all these? If we look at their chemical compounds present in the Earth's atmosphere, which allow direct sunlight to reach the Earth's surface without any disturbance. Many greenhouse gases naturally occur in the atmosphere, such as carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor, ozone, and nitrous oxide. Now, man-made greenhouse gases include the chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, and perfluorocarbons, PFCs, as well as sulfur hexafluoride, that is SF6. Different greenhouse gases have different heat trapping abilities or capacities. Some of them can even trap more heat than CO2, that is carbon dioxide. A molecule of methane produces more than 20 times the warming of a molecule of CO2. Nitrous oxide is 300 times more powerful than CO2. The chlorofluorocarbons have heat trapping potential thousands of times greater than CO2. But because their concentrations are much lower than CO2, none of these gases add as much warmth to the atmosphere as CO2 does. Now, friends, let us see what causes the increased concentration of greenhouse gases, how it is happening. Humans emit, as I told you in the beginning of the lectures, we are responsible for the entire treasury. So humans emit greenhouse gases in a variety of ways, including burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, and deforestation. The rise in global population has increased the demand and use of fossil fuels such as in cars, factories, and electricity production. Through burning forest lands or mining and burning coal, we artificially move carbon from its solid state to its gaseous state, thereby increasing its atmospheric concentrations. Methane is released from landfills and agriculture, especially from the digestive systems of grazing animals. Nitrous oxide is released from fertilizers and from gases used for refrigeration and industrial purposes. Now, we all need to know about chlorofluorocarbons. What are they? The chlorofluorocarbons, commonly known as CFCs, are a group of man-made compounds containing chlorine, fluorine, and carbon. They're not found anywhere in nature. The production of CFCs began in the 1930s for the purpose of refrigeration. Since then, they have been extensively utilized as propellants in aerosols, as blowing agents in foam manufacture, and in air conditioning. There are no removal process or sinks for CFCs in the lowest part of the atmosphere called the troposphere. Right. As a result, they are transported up into the stratosphere between 10 to 15 kilometers above the Earth's surface, where they are broken down by ultraviolet EV radiation from the sun, releasing free chlorine atoms which cause significant ozone depletion. Look at the cycle. Now, we need to see what is greenhouse effect. As sunlight falls on Earth, the short wave energy present in the visible and ultraviolet portion of the spectra hits the surface, while the longer wave, that is infrared energy, radiates from the surface of the Earth, trying to jump back into the space. The greenhouse gases absorb this energy and trap it in the lower atmosphere, thereby allowing less heat to escape back to space. These gases then re-radiate the trapped energy in all directions. This process is called greenhouse effect. It warms the Earth's temperature. Without it, the oceans would freeze and life would be impossible. Now, we have been witnessing, as I said, lots and number of effects of global warming. The effects of global warming can be really alarming and dangerous. And it is dangerous for the survival of humanity and the ecosystem as well. An increase in the global temperature may cause the ice sheets to melt, thereby causing a rise in sea levels because these huge ice cubes will start melting, right? This may flood many coastal areas around the globe. Global warming may also bring a change in the amount and pattern of rainfall. That is what we have seen in the recent rainfall and cloudburst in Himachal Pradesh and in Sikkim as well, resulting in a probable expansion of subtropical deserts. Extreme weather events such as heat waves, droughts, famine, thunderstorms, ocean acidification, and species extinctions are also among the likely effects of the warming. We have already seen all these. Scientists believe that the present global warming could be a sign of an impending ice age. Could be true and absolutely true. Is the sea level really rising? That is another one big question in front of us. Global mean sea level has been rising at an average rate of 1.7 mm per year plus or minus 0.5 mm over the past 100 years, which is significantly larger than the rate averaged over last several thousand years. Imagine the danger. This increase is due mainly to thermal expansion and contributions from melting alpine glaciers. However, larger increase due to global warming cannot be ruled out. If all the ice in Greenland and Antarctica melts, the sea level will rise by about 230 feet. That is 65 meters. Just imagine what is going to happen to all the human beings living on this planet. Nobody will be safe, right? Now, the next question is that will global warming affect human habitation and our very own food security system? Definitely yes. The shifting temperature regimes will result in the loss of habitat. There will also be a significant threat to food security from decreasing crop yields. Under the present trends, by 2030, maize production in southern Africa could decrease by up to 30%, while rice, millet, and maize in South Asia could decrease by up to 10%. Further, by 2080, yields in developing countries could decrease by 10% to 25% on average, while India could see a drop of 30% to 40%. Oh my God, that will be too dangerous for our survival. Climate change will also have a significant impact on the sustainability of water supplies. That is more dangerous than ever before, right? Now, herein, when we are talking about global warming, we need to know all about ice age. An ice age is a period when glaciers and vast ice, sheets cover large areas of the globe. Over the last 2.5 million years, about 2 dozen ice ages have occurred. The most recent, called the Great Ice Age, began about 1 lakh years ago and ended about 10,000 years ago. This is what is Ice Age. Now, another question comes to our mind in regard to global warming. What is ozone layer depletion? Ozone depletion is a term commonly used to describe the thinning of the ozone layer in the stratosphere. Ozone depletion occurs when the natural balance between the production and destruction of ozone in the stratosphere is tipped in favor of destruction. Approximately 90% of all ozone is produced naturally in the stratosphere. While ozone can be found through the entire atmosphere, the greatest concentration occurs at an altitude of 25 km. This band of ozone-rich air is known as the ozone layer. The ozone layer acts as a natural filter, absorbing most of the sun's burning ultraviolet rays. Stratospheric ozone depletion leads to an increase in UV that reach the Earth's surface, where it can disrupt biological processes and damage a number of materials. Now, we all know global warming is affecting the wildlife system across the world, ranging from the highest peaks to the driest deserts, to freshwater bodies and to marine environments. All varieties of wildlife are being affected by global warming. Polar bears rely heavily on Arctic sea ice, which is rapidly disappearing due to global warming. The American pika, a small mammal that lives on western mountain tops, is being forced to move to higher and higher altitudes to find a home. Ducks, geese, and other waterfowl are changing behavior and migration patterns due to extreme weather conditions. Now, is there any way that we can prevent this global warming? Right. Global warming can be prevented by reducing the emission of greenhouse gases. We must decrease our energy consumption, especially water, electricity, and gasoline, and also try to find alternative energy resources that are less polluting. We must plant trees and protect our rainforest and grasslands. We can save energy by doing small things like turning off lights and fans while going out, using public transport instead of personal cars whenever possible, minimizing and recycling kitchen waste, etc. But friends, what I see is that it is a chaos on the rise. But definitely there is a way out. Humanity will have to face disasters every single day. We all are responsible for it. Only we can control it. No point now blaming and pointing fingers at who has done first and who is doing now. No point dividing nations on the basis of damage done to the planet Earth. Of course, the more developed world can come forward to rescue the less developed ones. It is not too late to stop our greed and expansion. It's time to save Earth. So friends, while discussing global warming, I have a simple message for everyone. Whatever is possible at your end, please do every single moment to save this planet called Earth, where we are the most conscious living beings. Thank you friends for watching me. Keep watching my videos, share them, subscribe my channel and like my channel so that I'll be inspired to do more and more academic work for all of you. And I'll ensure almost all the critical and currently relevant topics are brought to you in a very simple way. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.